Hello, hello! What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is still my 31 days of horror movie reviews. And, well, I watched the original film, and it made sense, a little too much sense, for me to sit down and watch for the first time The Stepfather 2! Yes, they made a sequel. This came out in 1989, and it was directed by Jeff Burr. And the plot is, we thought that Terry O'Quinn as Jerry Blake, we thought that he was killed and defeated at the end of the first film. But I guess not. He was shot, he was stabbed in the heart, but he survived. He wakes up in this mental facility, and it looks like he's on the road to being rehabilitated and maybe proving to his doctor that he's cured. What? I mean, okay, sure. But instead of even that, he kills his doctors. He escapes the hospital. And you see that he's back out there. He changes his name, this time to Gene. He pretends to be a psychiatrist. And he falls for a recent ex-wife, or at least a newly divorced wife in the neighborhood, and he tries to woo her. But anyone and everyone who gets in his way to get with said ex-wife, divorced wife, he kills. He'll kill anybody who will stop him from getting what he wants. Now, what I thought of The Stepfather Part 2 is, it was okay. It was okay. It was fine. It wasn't bad. Not nearly as bad as it probably could have been or should have been. It helped to have the same actor, Terry O'Quinn, back as Jerry Blake, or Gene, I guess you could call him now, because he's good. He is. Having him, even more so in this second movie, be the main character is pretty twisted, pretty messed up. We're following a guy who is a sociopath. He is somebody that thinks that he can get away with all of the murders that he's committed, which he kind of can. At the very beginning of this movie, like I said, he gets out of this hospital, but he does so killing his doctor. And what do you know? The first person that he kills is the black dude. Albeit for me to say that I should be surprised that a horror movie in the 80s, no less, would kill a black dude in the first, 5 minutes. But it does. And the fact that you see him on the run, essentially, we see on the news a couple of times that there is a manhunt. They are looking for him. I appreciated that, I guess. They at least showed that the news and that the cops are looking for him. But it's bizarre because whenever you do see the news story, they never show a picture. They don't even show a sketch just in case they don't physically have a picture, which they should, because he was in custody. He was in a hospital. They should have a live picture of him. But even if you want to say not, have a drawing of it. Because at least maybe the drawing could make you understand why certain people, certain characters in this film don't recognize him, or maybe have a suspicion from the picture, but not 100%. It just seemed amateurish. It made these cops seem so amateur, so much like they don't know what the hell they're doing, or they don't care enough to look for this damn serial killer. It was interesting to see him get acquainted with Meg Foster's character, Carol, because it honestly seems like he does fall for her, which might make me sound naive. It's established in the first film that he goes from family to family, new wife to new wife, killing them all and just moving on. So very well, his plan was just to marry this woman and then kill them all. This could be true. But it seemed like more so in this film, it wasn't so much that he wanted to kill them. At least he never says it, although who really does know what the whole point of him doing this is. He's more obsessed with wanting to marry her. And I guess maybe if we found out that he needs her money or some sort of just something that had to do with he needed to marry her because he needed something specific to getting married to her, it was very important to do that legally or something. But we don't get that. He just seems obsessed with being with her. Her ex-husband comes back into town. He wants a second chance. He wants to be in his son's life, their son's life. And the guy was kind of scummy because he did cheat on her, and he left for a year and then comes back thinking that, hey, look, I'm back. So where's the parade? And you see Jerry kill the father, and it's almost as if it's like, well, maybe he truly thinks he's better for Carol than this guy was. So you start to wonder exactly, or it could just be that he was in his way. He was getting in his way. It was becoming too much of a problem, so I'm just going to eliminate the problem. Most likely that's the case, but I do find it interesting to think about whether or not he just honestly wanted to be with this woman. As bizarre and crazy as that sounds. The son is played by Jonathan Brandis. He plays Todd. And I found it interesting, unlike the first movie where the daughter was completely suspicious and against Jerry from the beginning. You see this son who bonds with Jerry. He actually gets an attachment to him and spends time with him. And Jerry even shows him how to do certain things around the house, or just, it's something to where, once again, you wonder, like, maybe there was a little more here, or he was planning on killing this poor little kid. He was very young compared to the daughter in the first movie. Also, Carolyn Williams plays Maddie. I'm sure people remember her mostly from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 as Stretch. I've reviewed that movie and I've talked about how annoying I thought her and her character was in that movie, but this one I liked her more. I did. I liked that, like I said, instead of the son, like the daughter, being suspicious, it was her being Carol's best friend, her being the one that was suspicious of Jerry, her looking out for her best friend, and of course that making her and Jerry's crossfire. Again, he's just another person that's going to get in his way. So, look, I'm not saying that this movie was great, amazing, or that it's better than the original, because it's not. And most likely this shouldn't have even happened because he was very well dead at the end of the first film. But I will say this, it probably made money. It probably got decent reviews, at least for a horror film. So I'm going to say, if you had to make a sequel, if it had to be done, if you're going to do it, this is probably the way to do it. It was different enough. It wasn't just a retread or a copy of the first movie. I do think that there are a lot better things in this than not. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of The Stepfather Part 2? Do you like it as well? Was it a surprise, or do you think it sucks? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!
Soul's taken over by a devilish path. You got me walking on broken glass. Kicking down the door with a Jason mask, with a decked out machete, but you motherfuckers know it's heavy. Anytime you're ready, you can get you with a Bowie. Setting up to blow me, but the bitch don't know me. Who's going? I'm going. You know, I know that the man in the mirror is my next rival. Time goes, and I never thought I'd live it so fast. Staring at the world from the end of my glass. Turned into a dark place, several